They didn't call it a firing. They called it a realignment. At Christmas dinner. I think it's best if you leave. 30 people stopped eating at the same time. No arguing, no shouting. Just silence. Linda said it softly, still smiling. Like she was offering me the last slice of pie. I didn't move. The fork felt heavy in my hand. Then my stepdaughter stood up. Emily raised her water glass. To the man, she said, "You all just tried to dismiss." The room went dead quiet. When I got home, the porch light was off. Inside, the Christmas tree was still on, blinking, patient. My stocking was gone. Not moved, not hidden, gone. No note, no explanation, just an empty hook, where my name used to hang. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about dinner, or a bad night, or a misunderstanding wrapped in holiday stress. This was deliberate. 35 years of showing up, of being useful, of staying quiet so everyone else could stay comfortable. And the moment I stopped fitting the picture, I was erased, not yelled at, not confronted, removed. They kept the lights on, they kept the tree, they kept the tradition, just not me. And standing there in the dark, coat still on, cold in my hands, I understood something clearly for the first time. You don't get pushed out all at once. You get edited out. And once they start erasing you, they don't plan to stop. On the counter was an envelope, not folded, not rushed, placed. My name written carefully. Harold. No nickname, no softness, just ink. Intentional. Inside, bank numbers, account changes, a neat list, and a note. We need to separate finances. Please don't use the joint cards. No explanation, no conversation, just a decision already made. At the bottom, one line, underlined. I'm trying to protect us. Protect us. After 35 years of shared bills, shared risks, shared nights wondering how to make it work, now I was a liability, a line item, a problem to be contained. I sat at the kitchen table. The Christmas lights reflected in the countertop, blinking like nothing had changed. The house still smelled like dinner, roast, wine, laughter that hadn't included me. That's when I understood. This wasn't anger. It wasn't spite. It was planning. Careful, polite, clean. They didn't throw me out. They boxed me in, separated the money, controlled the access, rewrote the rules, without asking if I agreed to keep playing. I'm trying to protect us. What that really meant was, I've decided who matters more. And standing there, envelope in my hand, tree glowing behind me, I realized something dangerous. People don't betray you loudly. They do it quietly, with good handwriting, and a smile that says this is for your own good. And once the paperwork starts, the exit is already planned. Then my phone buzzed. Not a call, a message. Emily. We hadn't spoken since Christmas. I have proof. 2 words beneath it. Can we meet? No images. No explanation. We met the next morning at Culver's. Early. Before the lunch crowd. Before questions. Snow lined the parking lot like it had nowhere else to go. Emily sat across from me, hands wrapped around her coffee like she needed the heat to stay steady. She didn't smile. She slid a folder across the table. I didn't want to believe it, she said, but once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. Inside, loan documents, credit guarantees, account activity, my name, over and over, loans I'd never applied for, guarantees I'd never signed, credit pulls I didn't authorize, but they were clean. Too clean. Rick's specialty, my brother-in-law, the man who shook hands too hard, who talked about faith and business in the same sentence, who always had a story about a deal that was almost done. He said it was temporary, Emily said quietly, that he just needed leverage. I kept turning pages. Dates lined up. Right after my job ended. Right after the realignment. Right after Linda said we needed to protect ourselves. That's when Emily said it. She knew. Not a question. A statement. She helped structure it. Emily continued. If it collapsed it would land on you. I closed the folder. The restaurant noise faded into something distant. This wasn't betrayal fueled by emotion. This was strategy. They were insulating themselves, setting the angle so, when the debt snapped, it snapped around my neck. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't swear. I didn't say Linda's name out loud, because anger makes you careless, and careless people lose. I took the folder home, checked everything, slowly, carefully. I verified signatures, compared timelines, cross-checked accounts. Every move they made assumed one thing, that I'd panic, that I'd explode, threaten, demand answers, that I'd look guilty just by reacting. So I didn't. I documented, I copied, I organized, I let them think I didn't know. Linda smiled more easily those weeks. Rick stopped calling. They thought the silence meant compliance. It meant preparation. 2 weeks later, Rick stood at a church auction, the kind of event where people wear generosity like a badge. He was talking about trust. About stewardship, about community. He smiled when he saw me. That confident smile people wear when they believe they've already won. I walked up quietly, placed a folder on the table, not slammed, placed. Before more money changes hands, I said calmly, we need to be clear. Rick laughed nervously. Linda stiffened. Emily stood. Her voice didn't shake. He offered me money to stay quiet. The room didn't erupt. It froze. Someone asked for clarification. I opened the folder. Loan documents, signatures, dates. Questions followed. Rick's voice rose. Mine didn't. Truth doesn't need volume. I didn't win. There was no applause, no apology tour, but the loans were re-signed. The guarantees removed. The weight lifted. Outside, snow fell quietly. Not punishment, not revenge. Clarity. For the first time in months, I breathed without bracing. If you've ever been the quiet one, the reliable one, the man who held everything together, this story is for you. You don't need to shout. You don't need to threaten. Sometimes the strongest move is letting the truth speak while you stay calm. Because when the noise fades, what remains is what was real all along.